I'm thinking, what's the one thing I've done all your life that you love?
Life lessons.
That's exactly right.
Really?
Yes.
There you go.
That's exactly right. So I think we should do life lessons on marketing
Okay.
and design.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay. What do you
Yep.
want to go with first, marketing or design?
Let's talk about marketing.
Okay. One of the big things to start out with, one of the bottom line things to start out with in marketing is that everything speaks. And so the way your employees handle your customers speaks to the way your employees dress, whether or not they shave, speaks. Whether your logo, your printed material, your commercials, your signage, whether or not your trucks are clean, it all speaks. And what it's communicating is your values, your company's values. And the thing that's crazy about it is that you're sending out a message, but people aren't necessarily consciously aware of the message. It's like they're hearing the message without knowing that they're hearing it.
A subliminal.
Yes, exactly.
Subliminal message.
Excellent. You're probably going to pass this class.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And so it's just in marketing, it's important to sort of just first of all just define the message that you want to communicate. And the books call it your value message or or it's your mission statement. And then that becomes the lens. Once that's defined, it becomes the lens of everything that you do, etc. And it's expressed, typically it's expressed in your logo, and it's expressed in in tangible ways. Do you want to talk about logos?
Yeah, let's talk about logos.
Tell me what you think about logos.
Well, with many companies, it's the first thing you make a judgment upon. You see a logo in an ad or on their storefront,
right?
And you make an assessment.
Yeah.
Maybe not a very deep or well-educated assessment, but you make a judgment of either what the company is, based upon what their values are, something of that nature.
It's so funny that you said what's on your storefront, because my granddaddy, your great granddaddy, had a business, and it was a barbecue business, and it was just he had a little old store in Odessa, Texas, and he had and he made barbecue, and he made the most amazing pies, and his lunch counter was always full, but it was moose barbecue. He was an old cowboy. So, he really didn't have a marketing strategy, per se, which meant he didn't have a logo.
Right. But
his building was an old cinder block building, and on the whole side of it, it was huge, like 12 feet tall and 40 feet wide or whatever. There was a painted picture of a six-pack of Coca-Cola, because that's what they used to do. They used to take the side of the building and paint it.
Right.
So he had this large Coca-Cola
fan base.
Well, no. No, I don't know what I was going to say. He had a pie fan base.
Okay.
But he had this large Coca-Cola signage, and in a sense, it kind of became his logo. So if someone was saying, well, where's, I want to go to Newt, they'd say, yeah, the place was...
Became an icon.
Exactly. It was iconic. And so, what's interesting is that it really happened by accident. He didn't plan it. It just happened, And but that's what you want, and it was recognizable. It was easily recognizable. It was distinctive. There weren't a lot of other ones, And that's really what you want your logo to do. You want your logo to be distinctive. You want it to, and if you think about it, it was a perfect icon for him, because he was the place where his little lunch stand is where you went to get refreshment. It's where you went to get your thirst quenched and your hunger satisfied. And so in a big way, and so it really was perfect for him accidentally. But that's what you want to do. You want your logo to communicate what your company can do for you, for the client, for the customer. And also kind of what it won't do.
Sure.
So, you know, Coca-Cola, I think, is one of the few logos that's never been tweaked. It's just the same logo. It was done by a secretary.
Interesting.
And I think it was done by a secretary, and she just did it by hand, and they've never changed it.
Have you heard?
All these years.
Have you heard about the Nike swoosh?
No, I haven't.
Well,
but being the amazing cross-country runner that you are, from the state of Texas,
I do know a bit about some running companies. Well, the Nike swoosh was drawn by one of the original members, and they purchased it from her for $50.
Members of what?
Well, one of the original founders of the Nike Corporation.
Oh, okay.
When it was just a small running company in Oregon, and they purchased the swoosh from her for $50, and now it's a multi-million-dollar logo.
Right.
So.
I don't think anybody would pay me $multi-million.
No, but you never know. You never know.
To do a logo, but I would. I think the FedEx logo is another one that's very interesting. Because it has. There's the guy that has done that has won tremendous awards, or several awards for that logo, because as he began to FEDEX, and as he began to arrange, I think, the E and the X together, he ended up creating an arrow there. Which I never saw.
I've never noticed. I
know.
never noticed.
But once you see it, you don't not see it. And so, and again, that arrow speaks to the forward movement of FedEx. Life lesson.
Life lesson. There you go.